what's up, people? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Desmond Z. If this is the first time that you've ever seen me, it is time to do a monthly wrap-up. All the books that I read in January. That's what we're here to talk about today. And I read 15 books, so let's just jump right into it. The Social Climber. This book is about a woman who's about to get married. Her name is Eliza, and she's married into this very, like uber rich family, 1%ers, and we don't know anything about her past. We have to uncover who she really is, because she's built up this whole life that's basically a lie. And I don't really know what to say. I don't really know what to say, because I don't know. I don't know. I almost DNF'd this book a couple of times, but I really did just want to see how it ended. And it's one of those where it throws you hints here, it throws you hints there. It keeps telling you something is coming. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. And then in the end, it's like you're happy to see it come all together. But then at the same time, it's like, was it really worth it? Was the journey worth it? Tisha Campbell said it's about the journey. But was it though? But was the journey worth that? I don't know, and that's really all I can say. That's really all I can say. You want a more concise review of the book? I don't think you're gonna get it from me. I don't think you're gonna get it from me, so you might have to look other places, because that's really all I got. That's really what I said. It wasn't much, but that's all I got. Yeah. So it just got really bright in here. Now see, I tried to film in the day because I wanted the sunlight. But then the sun went down, and so I put my lights on. And now it's extra bright in here. Kylie Reed, come and get it. I talked about this book in my last video, and it was a book where I was talking about those arcs. And so I already reviewed this. You can go back and watch the last video. I'll put a link up here. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about this. You can go watch that video for it. The Midnight Library. I'm sure you've all heard of this book, seen this book at some point in a bookstore, seen them on Instagram, on TikTok. You've seen this book on BookTube. You've seen it. If not, now you have. I really had a huge interest in reading this book when I first heard about it, and then it kind of waned, so I never picked it up. And then one of my book friends told me about this, told me she read the book, and she was like, I think you should read it. So I was like, okay, I trust you, girl. I'm gonna read it. Now, that's my girl. That's my dog. But I did not quite enjoy this book as much as I wanted to. I really like the message of this book. I like the theme. I'm here for starting fresh. It's always time, to start new, and life is not over until it's over. That's cliche, but it's true. It's true. It's gonna always be true because it's true. Like, there's no better definition that is concrete. Okay? That is my definition. You can take it, you can run with it, because it's true, because it's true. I said it, okay? And so I'm always here for a message like that. I'm always here for that theme, because it's something I stand by and something I live by, I should say. With that being said, I did not enjoy the book as much as I would have liked to. It was just something about it. I saw some other reviews, and they were like, it did feel kind of like self-helpish at times, and I have to agree. But even with the theme, you kind of expect it, because self-help and the theme of this book, starting fresh, starting new, is never too late. They kind of go hand in hand. But yet and still, I don't know, something just was off. So if you have not read this book, it's basically about this woman. What is her name? Nora. She's fed up with life. She's like, I'm just lonely. I'm tired. I'm not happy in my career. I'm not happy in my personal life. I'm not happy in my love life. And just nothing is going right. And she just wants to be done. She wants to check out. So now she's between life and death. She's in the Midnight Library. And she has this librarian in there that's helping her decide, do you want to live? Do you want to die? Like, it's not too late for you, girl. So literally, she checks out a book in this Midnight Library, and she gets to try on a new life. She pulled this book out. She might be a scientist with a rich husband, 5 kids, dog, cat, a bird, and flying around the world. She pulls out this book. She might be, you know, a rock star, giving interviews and all this, blase, blase, blase. She pulls out this. She might be living a quiet little life on the countryside. You never know. So she, in whichever life she wants to choose to be her forever life, she can do that. It was cool at first. I was like, okay, she finna try on this life. Okay, she finna try on that one. And then it just got to the point where it was just like, okay. And then I knew how it was gonna end. I knew how it was gonna end. Like I knew where it was going. I knew where we was gonna end up. I knew where the car was going to be parked. Okay, and I don't want to be that person that says like, oh, I knew where it was going, because you know, I hate people who say like, oh, I knew how it's gonna end up. I saw that coming. It's so predictable. I'm so smart. I can see the future. I'm Raven Simone. Like, not to be that type of person, but it was just kind of like, it is what it is. I kind of saw how it was gonna end, and I just wanted a bit more excitement, a bit more, you know, surprise. But I would not say this is a bad book at all. Like I said, I enjoyed the theme, enjoyed the message, just wanted a different delivery in a way. One of Our Own and A Quantum Love Story are both two books that I talked about in my previous video, the whole video with the arc thing that I said Come and Get It was in. Those books are in that same video. You can go and watch that. Just see the review on those, okay? Moving along. Between the Head and the Hands. I think that's the name of this book. Is that what it is? Yes. Between the Head and the Hands. This book is about a young 18-year-old who is disowned from his family. His name is Michael. He's thrown out because he's gay. So he turns his back on his Muslim culture and religion because he's like, fuck it, they threw me out. I'm just going, family, friends, everything I knew when I growing up, I'm done with it all. And I gotta go try to live my life. So he gets taken in by a teacher who worked at his high school. He was never his teacher. We make sure to let us know that he was never his actual teacher. He was just a teacher at his high school. He gets taken in by him, but this teacher's creepy. This teacher's, you know, oh, I'm just trying to be here for you. I want to help you, da 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 da. But we all know what he want. We know what he want. He trying to get up in Michael's pants, okay? He trying to get down and get dirty, okay? Taking advantage of this young boy in his vulnerable state, okay? So Michael is still he's just trying to find himself, okay? But Michael is also dumb, okay? He's young and he's dumb. And everything that everybody says, Michael just goes along with it, even if he don't want to. You ask him a question, it's just like, oh, I don't know. I guess so, yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I think I'll try that. It's just, where is the backbone at, baby? Do you know the power of saying no? But then again, he's young. It's what you expect. But also, it's just like, I feel like at that point, nobody's saying yes to every single thing. Maybe they are. I don't know. I know I wasn't at 18. I knew how to say no at sometimes. But it's just like Michael just, he didn't have it was nothing up here. There were no thoughts of his own. It was just literally just, if somebody said something, he was just like, oh, I guess so. Yeah. Or, oh, I don't know. It was just over and over again of him just being pushed. Just the wind was just pushing him along, baby. He was just going wherever he blew him. So he ends up with this man from Texas, because Michael is in Canada. They live in Canada or whatever. So he ends up with this older Texan man who comes along, and basically it turns into this whole dominatrix type of book, where it's like, okay, first it's about this young gay boy being kicked out trying to find himself, and now he trapped into this BDSM relationship where it's not even consensual at this point. It's like this boy is doing stuff that, you know, it's abuse at this point. It's no longer, oh, I'm into whips and chains and being tied up or whatever. It's abuse now. That's basically the book. He just goes along doing whatever the hell people tell him to do, and he ends up in this abusive relationship with this man. And yeah, All right, so in this next book, we have Sean Cortland and we have Dan Young. These are two people who paths crossed in some Wisconsin town where Sean's truck breaks down, and then Dan is here because he fled Minnesota for unknown reasons. Also in this town, years ago, 3 young boys disappeared, right? And that is supposed to come into play with Sean and Dan when they start working, doing like plumbing, carpentry type of work for the man who people think is responsible for those 3 boys gone missing. And we are supposed to get a look at all of these people's lives as they come sort of intersecting, right? This is supposed to be a mystery, thriller, suspense, da 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 da. No. 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 I ended this book just wondering, what was that? What happened? What was going on? That was not a book for me. That wasn't even a slow burn, okay? That was just, you can just stick your hand right on top of the stove top and nothing would happen. There is no burn. Like, nothing is going to happen to you. You would be safe if you laid your face down on the stove. I promise you. Because nothing. The King is Dead by Benjamin Dean. This book is about a young boy, he's a young boy. He's now the King of England because his daddy is dead. The king is dead. He is not like any other royals you have seen upon the throne because he is black, okay? His mom is black, his daddy, the king that is dead, is white. And so here we have this new king that pretty much the whole country says, you don't belong on the throne. You're not supposed to be here. You're not like the rest of us. What was it? What was that young man's name? Because he's 17, freshly onto the throne, having to take over. King James, yeah. King James, okay? And now he's getting letters threatening to like reveal his secrets, family secrets, da-da-da-da-da-da. And he's trying to figure out who is this? Who is this after him? Who is this trying to bring down, you know, him and his family? He has a twin brother by the name of Eddie. They are like minutes apart. And Eddie is like the more outgoing one. He's the more, you know, sociable one. And James is like, you know, more reserved or whatever. James is also gay. That's another secret he is hiding. It was cool. It was all right. I picked it up knowing this probably was not going to fully work for me. So yeah. I feel like I keep saying that about all these books, but it's just like, at this point, that's really all I have to say. But The King is Dead is like, it's not like how the Distant Sons pissed me off and just made me just go like, what even is this? The King is Dead is just more like, I knew it wasn't really going to be my speed, but I still want to give it a try because, you know, it don't hurt to try. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? I reread one of my favorite books, and let me just tell you. Let me just tell you something. Let me just tell you something. Let me just tell you something. I've said before how I really don't reread books, but I'm trying to change that. And it's a very recent thing for me. When I first read this book, I gave it 5 stars. I loved it so much. I loved it so much. I loved it so much. I read this book back in 2022, and it was one of my favorite reads of the year. It is still one of my favorite books, and I recommend it all the time. So going back into this, I was a little afraid. I was like, what if it don't hit the same? What if it don't do like it did the first time? All of that has been washed away. I love this book even more now. I don't care what the people say. I don't care what the people say. Like 5 stars. 5 stars. Again, it just does what it needs to do for me. This was a great book. This book is about Yinka. She is 31 years old. Her sister is married. Her younger sister is married and expecting a baby. That's how we start the book off, at the younger sister's baby shower. And of course, eventually the conversation turns to, when is Yinka gonna find a man? So they actually say a prayer for the girl. Like, please help her find a man. Her mama, her aunties, everybody around her is like, when you gonna find somebody? Never mind the fact that, you know, she has a great job, graduated from Oxford, and, you know, she's just living her life. Even if none of those things were true. Because a degree and a fancy job don't mean anything. They are not everything in life. But she has these things and, you know, she's doing okay for herself, well for herself. But all they can ask is when she gonna find a man. So throughout this book, you know, she's like, okay, one of the cousins is getting married. So she's like, okay, my thing is I'm gonna find a date. That leads to just finding a man in general to be with. And she completely loses herself. There's a part in the book where she's talking to somebody and she's like, I lost myself. She's like, I've lost myself and I don't know how to get myself back. Oh my God. Oh Lord, oh Lord. It's just so good. I swear. Just read it, okay? Read it. And I would highly recommend this to the audiobook because the narrator does such a good job. The first time around, I physically read and listened to the audio at the same time. And it was amazing. It was amazing. And then the second time, I just listened to the audio and it was still just as great. But so good. So good. So good. Yes. Our Jen. Okay, I talked about this book in I did a haul back in December and I talked about how I tried to listen to the audio of this and it just wasn't working. So I said I was gonna pick up the physical and try that. We have a group of older people who live in this community of 55 plus. And they, you know, we learned about just their social lives, their sex lives, their past, you know, who they are right now, who they were when they were younger. And, you know, all those type of things, you know, just life for people who society kind of throws away because they've reached, you know, a certain age. This started out really good for me. And then it just took a turn and it became like several different types of books. We have Cynthia. Then we have Block, who is an older man. He's kind of like the playboy of the community. And we have Tish and Lavia. Of all these characters, Lavia, as we learn more about her, I was like, what? What's going on here? Like, I know when you get to a certain age, it's kind of like you should have been several different people. You should have kind of led so many different lives, shed so many different, you know, layers of skin, because that's just like how life goes, right? You know, you meet people, you become friends, you heartbreak, and you travel, and you do all these different things. So you get it to a certain age, it's kind of like you've been so many different people. So you expect to like hear crazy stories and hear things that you would never think of when you talk to people that age, right? But Lavia's story still, with all that being said, Lavia's story still threw me because I was just kind of like, where the fuck did they come from? Like, what? I don't understand. So, yeah, hearing her backstory, it was just kind of like, okay. And then all together, I feel like it was, I don't know, it didn't pan out right for me. The book isn't long at all, which, you know, I'm always here for a short book. It's like under 300 pages, under 250 to be exact. Yet and still, I feel like we did a lot. I feel like if maybe the characters were a little bit more fleshed out and we focus on less people, like maybe if Cynthia and Block, let's say, were the two main characters, and then everybody else were a bit more supported. I feel like we tried to fit too many backstories into such a small, compact book that it didn't really work for me personally. But it started out really strong, but I really do like the overall essence of the book because I enjoyed hearing about, you know, this group of older people and their lives and the lives that they led and the lives that they are leading now. But still, it was just a bit, I don't know, a little bit messy for me. It didn't really come together fully. Say You'll Be Mine. This book is about a woman named Megna who is a teacher, but she wants to be like a playwright. She wants to, you know, work in the arts or whatever. But her parents have always looked down on that or whatever and kind of judged her because her brother's an engineer and both her parents are engineers. And, you know, she's almost 30. She's still not married. And they're like, girl, when you gonna find somebody, girl? When you gonna get a man? Okay? And So she's like, let me set you up. Let me set you up. And she's like, no, I'm not going for that. Until she gets an invitation from an ex from college named Seth, who they're still friends, by the way, but you know, they dated in college. He's like, girl, I'm getting married. Come, so I need you to be the, come to my wedding. And not just that, I want you to be my best woman. You know, I'm not having the best man. You my dog, you my girl. I want you to, you know, be by my side when I get married. So she's like, fuck. And she still has feelings for this guy, by the way. And she's like, well, damn, I gotta go to his wedding and be the best woman, and I gotta show up single. So she's like, you know what, maybe I need to go back to mom and daddy. Maybe I need to be set up because I don't want to show up single. So she gets set up with this guy named Karthnik, and he's like, look, girl, I'm just doing this to appease my mama because I'm not trying to get married. I don't want to be with nobody. I just want to be single, and I don't ever see that happening for me, but I'm just doing this to appease her. So let's just do what we gotta do, and we can go our separate ways after this little initial meetup, right? But things change, and they end up, you know, for both of their own reasons. He's, you know, she's like, she got this wedding. He has his reasons. Okay, maybe we can go along with this and pretend, right? I really enjoyed this. I laughed quite a bit. I did enjoy, you know, the humor in the book, and I enjoyed the back and forth, the relationship between these two main characters. One of my biggest gripes was the fact that there was a lot of miscommunication, and I hate the fact that when I'm using my logical brain, I'm using the brain that I have, and I'm just like, you bitches are dumb because you literally just talk. Just open your flappers and talk. That's all we have to do. There is so much, oh, well, if I say this, then that'll happen. Oh, I don't want to say this because that'll happen. And oh my gosh, I could just do this. And it was just right there in front of you when all you had to do was say ABC, and this bitch could say 1, 2, 3, and you two bitches could just get your shit together. When that could happen, but you don't because you're dumb and you refuse to speak like adults, it pisses me off. And I know it's a book. I know it's fake. I know it's not real. But it's just like, please, please, can we just use our brains? Use our brains. Okay. Okay. And Seth is a stereotypical mediocre man who is just failing upwards in life. And you know what? You know what? Seth, your number has been called. Your ticket has been pulled. Seth is a character in the way. He's the best friend. He's the guy that, you know, she's going to be in the wedding with, by the way. And you know what? So many people like him exist in real life. A book that I expected to be just as good. I don't know, I just had a feeling. I was like, oh, this is gonna hit. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna love this. I did not. I did not. I did not. First Law Wins is about a woman named Evie Porter. She has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends. The only catch, Evie Porter does not exist, okay? Evie Porter just got with this man, and I don't know why the description says she has a tight group of friends and da-da-da-da-da, because the friends don't even like her. She just got with this guy, right? They haven't been together long. They're dating. She ends up moving in with him. His friends are not trusting of her because she just popped up out of nowhere, apparently. But it is true when it says Evie Porter does not exist, because she basically is like a spy, I guess. Let me see, is that a spoiler? Okay, it's not. Okay, yeah, because literally in the description. So she just drops in doing these jobs, pretending to be people. And throughout the book, the main plot, you know, of this new life she's living as Evie Porter is, you know, where we're at. And, you know, figuring out, okay, what is she doing here? And then we go back in time to figure out how she even became Evie Porter. You know, what led her, you know, to be this person that takes on different identities. The timelines, as far as going back in time, did nothing for me. It did nothing for me. I feel like it slowed the book down. I feel like I would have loved this so much more had we spent more time with Evie Porter, because a lot of the flashbacks just didn't do it for me. And I was just like, okay. And then at the end, I was just, I don't know. Overall, it didn't do it for me. There are a lot of people who really love this book. I just guess I wasn't the target audience for this. Our last book is All the Right Notes by Dominic Lim. This book is about our main character, Keto. He's Filipino. He is a writer. No, not a writer. He is a piano player. He works at this bar in New York. It's kind of like where they play like Broadway tunes. People sing along, da 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 da. Okay. Growing up, he was supposed to go to college, become a like playwright, songwriter. He was supposed to do something. He's a composer. That's it. A composer. He was supposed to, you know, graduate college, become a composer, and do all these big things, right? Except for his life went kind of like off the rails. So to learn how we got there, we have to go back. And we go back to high school when he first met this guy named Emmett Aiko. How their friendship came to be, what happened between them. The two characters that were my favorite were neither of those two. It was Keto's dad, who I actually really loved. He was really funny. Anytime he was on the page, the book just lit up. Also, another character who I struggled with at first is Keto's best friend, Ujima, who is non-binary. And I think Ujima's nickname is G. I think that's who they're referenced as most times, is G in the book, yeah. At first, I was a little bit hesitant on the G character because it gave kind of just like black sidekick at first. It was just like, okay, this person is only here to make you laugh, and that's really it. As the story progressed, I did really come to like the character. I did enjoy the book overall. There were moments where I laughed. If you listen to the audiobook, I think you'll get the full experience because there's like singing going on. Maybe that's not your thing, so maybe skip it. But you get the full effect of the book, I feel like, if you listen to the audio version. The narrator does a great job with the voices and all of that. So yeah, I did enjoy the book. There were just some things that I questioned, which you should do when you're reading. I know you read for fun, you read for enjoyment and to escape, as a lot of people like to say, but there is still room to actually think and use your brain. And, you know, you can be critical of things. You can ask questions. You can ask, why was this done? So maybe sometimes ask questions why. Okay, ask why things were done. Those are all the books I read in January. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you are not subscribed. Leave a comment down below and tell me how your January was. The first month is the first month of the year. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. Let me know how your first month went as far as reading. Let me know if you've heard of any of these books, if you've read them, if you liked them, if you didn't. Yeah, that's it. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching.